complex work and contained a uniform, and he managed to synthesize all the body knowledge and the information for physical education and sport area, and he put a part of theoretical and practical construction of his thesis. And of course, I think, and I agree with Professor Hanțiu, to sustain, to give this thesis that present the author is sustainable, and it's an instrument, such a research of personal contribution that he had and his opinion, and I think his thesis is part, and I am full agree to, and I consider that he can be honored with the title of doctor in physical education and sport.
Thank you very much for the competent conclusion and the competent report that Professor from the University of Timișoara, Nigel, was doing now. Thank you very much. And now the time Professor Porciocoelaj to say the report of him.
Thank you. Mrs. President, distinguished member of the board, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here. I won't be redundant and say the same things again because we'll be too tired, but I want to say some words about the thesis. And I'd like to start with the finish. Of course, I agree to the defense of this thesis in front of this board, and of course, you to be awarded with the title of Doctor in Education and Sport. There's no need to keep you in stress, but I want to say that I like very much your thesis because it addresses a real gap in knowledge. It's one of those theses that are not made to be, but they actually address a specific problem, and they will have, I hope, and of course you hope so, to have a finality in practice. And I would like to say that this subject is not actually only for Israel, it can be for us, because of course in Paris University, physical education activities are compulsory. But there are other several universities in Romania where physical education is facultative, mandatory facultative. So it would be a good opportunity for research in Romania in our tradition, but to conduct almost the same study in order to demonstrate once more. Of course, those studies were made in the past, but it doesn't hurt to make another one in the present condition to show to the legislators that physical education is an activity that saves a lot of money in the future. So eliminating those lessons from the curricula, it's a false economy. Okay? Of course, your thesis is well organized and respects fully the norms of the doctoral schools in Babes-Bolyai University and Faculty of Physical Education Doctoral School. So I won't tell about those things because they are covered. Okay, and I'd like to point out that the data in the pilot research are also quantitative and qualitative, and that is a good point. As you know, I liked your subject from the beginning, since you was admitted in this doctoral school. We talked about this. What I would point out is the rigor and the coherence of the experimental design, yes, that gives methodological powers to your thesis, fully demonstrates your hypothesis. I like that. What I didn't like so much, but maybe it was my mistake, it was that at least in the variant that I received, it was not specified the statistical instrument, but Professor Hansiu said today that it was SPSS, so now that point was covered. And I didn't like so much because I didn't find graphs. Also in the thesis I received, and graphs would be more suitable for your presentation. There's not a major negative point, but someone has to say something a bit negative, so I did my job. I also liked your references. They are recent and they fully support your theory and your research, and that was a very good thing. Yes, and now to fully close the circle, to be formal about it, yes, I agree with the public defense of your thesis, and I think you should be awarded the title of doctor with the qualitative very good. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Raresh Pokchokoi. And now I have to choose only some very important things that Professor Stănescu from Bucharest University of Physical Education and Sports said here in the report of her. She underlined some things that I will read only that. One was the topic significance and relevance of the 10. The proposed approach with the thesis offers viable solution for the universities and creates at the same time the premises for new direction of developing the educational programs aimed to the improvement of the students' life quality. The second was theoretical backgrounds, that she underlined that you use 190 titles, books and articles from main informational flux. The author intended to highlight the most relevant investigation and opinions and to clarify some concepts in the fields of sports and physical activity. The third one was research methodology. I do not say too much about this because everybody's spoken about this part. He finished with, we appreciate use the statistical methods and the correct utilization of indicators which highlight the relevance of the results in the terms of research objectives and hypotheses, arithmetic mean, standard deviation, and t-test. Fourth was thesis relevance for the knowledge development in the field of university, physical education, and sports. She was underlining what you use, kind of test, BMA, Ruffier test, setup and sit and reach, skin fold. A physical activity-based curriculum can improve the image, prestige, and reputation of colleges and universities and set an example for others. Thus, this intervention program can also serve as an effective marketing strategy to attract students to the academic institution. This interdisciplinarity approach of university physical education offers value and an innovative characters to this thesis in respect to the national specified goals of this subject in Israel. About the originality of thesis, Professor Stănescu underlined some idea, and I will read now. The author approach elevates the understanding that health promotion on campus must be substantial and supported by all educational stakeholders, students, decision makers, professionals. The model is based on a genuine and mindful dialogue between students, decision makers, and sport personnel in the academic institution, as well as on theory and social research in the field of university community. This model, what you suggested by the authors, secures the implementation of physical education as a mandatory subject, similar to the status of physical education from previous level of the education, thus maintaining the significance of health promotion within the Israeli society. This is a highly important given the geopolitical situation of the country and the necessity to maintain a good level of fitness in both men and women to meet the challenges posed by the politics of this particular geographic area. This thesis offers arguments of health, social, and managerial nature to change the perception about the role of university physical education within the education system in Israel, and could change the educational policy in the field. Considering all the above, we appreciate that the thesis of Mr. Har Ibn Yosef accomplished the contents and format standards imposed by a doctoral thesis. We agree with its public presentation and to approve with the title of Doctor in Human Motricity Science, Physical Education and Sports. Okay. Yeah. Now I want to invite you, if you have any words to say about thesis, any questions, any doubts. We have here also two colleagues. It's a pity that our dean was had the program and he has to go. We have our colleagues, and I have also some questions, but easy questions.
I want to start.
Okay.
Okay, because
Professor Hansi.
I know very well this thesis because 4 years we work a lot for the thesis, and I want to appreciate the activity of the Yossi, the help of the family, because I know was a great help, and I feel this. I had a lot of discussion with his wife, and he was 2 times here in Romania only for prepare the thesis, and we spend a lot of time on Skype and discuss sometimes 2 or 3 times per day. Sometimes we change some part of the thesis because discussion, I say when I present my report, we start like study case, because in our college is one place where a part of faculty has physical education, like compulsory discipline, but only a part of students have in the curriculum. The majority don't have. The intention of the Yossi was to have a contribution to have finally physical education like a mandatory discipline. And now in Israel, it's three institutions where physical education was mandatory: in high school, in school, in military, and in higher education. Last 10 or 12 years from the higher education, physical education discipline was eliminated. They have very nice facility. I think in every, I see some university in Israel, but I think every university has facility for physical activity. But I think it's necessary, and Yossi feel the same, the physical education is necessary to be mandatory discipline in higher education. Because the attitude of the young people, and last time, is to have a sedentary life. And this situation is necessary to push him, go out, go in the hall, gym, to practice physical activity. And he is very, very involved in this, because I think one day he spent some